Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I'm going to take a first look at Tolerance from Dragon Dawn Productions. This is coming to Gamefound for crowdfunding very shortly, and we will take a peek inside this box right after this. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. As I mentioned in the open, today I am going to take a first look at Tolerance, which is coming to Gamefound for crowdfunding for Dragon Dawn Productions. The game is designed by Ren Multimaki, with art provided by Lars Munk. I apologize if I have butchered those names. Probably haven't even come anywhere close to pronouncing those correctly. But the game is for 3 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 45 minutes. The pledge level should be right around $29 when this hits Gamefound. And if this funds successfully, Dragon Dawn Productions is hoping to get it in backers' hands this October. All right, without further ado, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Tolerance. 16th century England from Tudors to the Reformation. Want to point out that the fine folks over at Dragon Dawn Productions did provide me with this preview copy. This, of course, keep in mind, is not the finished product at all. So a lot of this is prototype that we're going to be taking a look at. But also need to point out that neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation outside of this game copy for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's important that you know that. All right, let's take a look at the back here. Tolerance is an asymmetric set collection game with variable player goals for 3 to 5 players, representing the conflict between Protestants and Catholics in 16th and early 17th century England. Tolerance uses a trick-taking mechanic where the winner of each trick gets to perform the played card's actions, whether beneficial or not. The game is played over 3 rounds, spanning the reigns of Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth I, and King James, with each round covering the reign of one monarch. Tolerance aims to convey to the players how much suffering mankind brings upon itself because of a supposedly wrong belief. A topic which was just as topical almost 50 years ago. A topic which was just as topical almost 500 years ago as it still is today. All right. Let's jump on in here. So it looks like we've got our rule book. Looks like we've got a couple of decks of cards. This is kind of cool. So we've got player mats, player aids, a score sheet, or a few score sheets, I guess we'll say. All right, so the first thing we're going to take a peek at here are the rules. It says, during the 16th century, England separated from the folds of papal authority. Unlike many other countries experiencing Reformation, in England this was driven by monarchs who wanted more wealth and authority over their own private affairs. Removing the papal yoke was an important part of this ambition. This period also brought enlightenment from many creative minds throughout Europe, and technological and scientific progress blossomed following a more tolerant theological atmosphere. Tolerance is a thematic trick-taking game for 3 to 5 players, which follows these tumultuous years as Britain cuts adrift from the Catholic Church, carving out a new national church, the Church of England, with a monarch as its supreme head. The Reformation also led to the unforeseen redistribution of wealth and land and allowed a resurgence of a middle class of non-ennobled merchants. For the vast majority of the people, the peasants, however, life was miserable, unfair, and filled with little prospect of improvement. The faith that something better awaited after the hard toil on earth was for some the only spark of hope. Okay, so it looks as if each player is going to assume the role of a character with their own motivations and scoring goals. So we have Ned, who's a devout Protestant from a merchant family. Pierre, who is a nobleman with hardline Catholic views. George comes from a rural noble line of zealous Catholics. Yuba bought his freedom from slavery and with arduous toil created a small merchant house. Margaret is a noble scion with Catholic views. Gregory the yeoman is a farmer from a rural area. He dislikes trusting those of higher status and believes that only kinsmen and rural folk can truly be relied upon. So he may not have a religious leaning. So Patchwork is the dissident who represents those who were forced to turn to lawless acts to sustain themselves. And then we have Bertram the Balanced, says for the basic symmetric game. Follows the faith endorsed by the crown and supports only government-sanctioned violence. Yes, I only support government-sanctioned violence. During the reign of Mary, strong peasant support and weak guilds are desired. During Elizabeth's reign, nobles are the key, but the most powerful guilds also have a use, and while James reigns, the emphasis lies on the strength of the guilds. So it looks like we have 73 cards. We have player boards. So we have different scoring tracks. We have a living Catholic pile, living neutral pile, living Protestant pile, and then we've got deceased. I'm going to take a guess. Those are our discards. A suit order reminder and an end of round reminder. So we have 7 roll cards showing the basic symmetric scoring on one side, and then I guess the asymmetric scoring on the other. These are the score sheets. That's what I thought we had. So it says each player takes a player board, a score sheet, and a roll card. First game, it's recommended that all players choose the symmetric side of the roll card. For later games, players may either choose rolls or deal them out randomly. It says return unused rolls to the game box. There's also an option to have hidden agendas. So it is showing us the card anatomy. So we have different icons on here. So we have different suits. We have nobles, clergy, townsfolk, peasants, and wild. So we have a piety value as well as a money value for each of these cards. And we also have a rank. So the card values run 1 to 14, it looks like. And then we have effects. We have kill, condemn, convert, collect taxes, and collect piety. We've got our target effects. So for each round, take the 70 suit cards, add the monarch for the current round, shuffle the deck. Deal 12 cards to each player. Each round consists of 12 tricks. For each trick, the starting player leads a card. Suit of the card led determines the suit of the trick. If a wild card is led, the player must declare which suit the wild card is representing, and this becomes the suit of the trick. The wild card cannot be declared as a suit in its own right. It must be stated to be one of the other 4 suits. Okay. So in clockwise order, play a card of the same suit if you have one. If you have no cards of that suit that led, play any card. You can play a wild card. The winner of the trick takes the cards in the trick, applies any end of trick effects, then places the cards in their respective scoring stacks around their player board. So cards that have a circular icon is the prevailing religion, which are placed in different piles depending on what round you're in. After each trick you've won, you must apply any end of trick effects. These should be resolved in order of rank, highest to lowest, so from 14 to 1. Within this order, identical rank cards should be resolved in suit order of nobles. So you end around royal execution and scoring. Each monarch card has an additional symbol, which happens if the monarch is still alive at the end of each of the rounds. The monarch must now execute one card in any player's tableau. This can obviously only affect cards from the current round, because any previous rounds will have been scored and returned to the deck. So in essence, you're removing cards from the deck as each round goes by. That's kind of interesting. And then we have end of game scoring. So it looks like we've got quite a few different aspects of how you're going to score. So you're going to score from victory points, for money and piety. Pennant bonuses. So we have loan scores. I guess taking a loan is going to count negative victory points. And whoever's got the most victory points is the winner. If it's a tie, the highest piety, I think that's what that symbol is the winner. And in the unlikely event the players are still tied, it's a joint win. So we've got, using the score sheets, an almanac. Okay, so here's the loans. If at the end of any scoring section, including an end of trick score, your money falls below 0, you must take out a loan. Take a loan card to indicate this and return your cash total to 1. So an explanation of effects, card summaries. Sounds kind of interesting. So whoever wins the tricks gets to execute the actions on the cards. It's kind of wild. Okay, so these all look like, oh, I spoke too soon. There you have that card. It's like this is all part of the main deck here. And here we're going to have other different cards. So I guess you're probably tracking your wealth in that on the score sheets. So it looks like these are roll cards. There's our loan card. It's like, oh, these are monarchs here. I can tell you right there because there's Queen Mary. Mary Stuart. Bloody Mary. Queen Elizabeth. So these are part of the regular deck. What it looks like. So maybe those weren't roll cards. Maybe the roll cards are the bigger cards in here. Let's take a look. Take a look at the backing. All right, so that is another loan card. Another loan card. And yet another loan card. Okay. So there are our loan cards. This is pretty obvious there, right? Hey, -3 victory points. It's pretty big. Okay, so we've got our deck here. And I do believe we are supposed to, just kind of getting an idea of how this is broken up. I think we're supposed to take our monarch's art. How did that get in there? So there's, no, that's Henry. That would not be. All right, where's James, Mary, and Elizabeth? What's going on here? Okay, so here's Queen Mary. We saw her. All right, well, oh, there's Elizabeth. So James is the one we're trying to find. So I can tell you right now that we do have some color coding here. So it looks like it's by suit. But of course, if you have issues with color blindness, we also have the icons here. There's James. We have these icons that show us what suit these are as well. So each of the players is going to get in essentially a player aid card. So this breaks down our card anatomy. And then this is also, I think each of the players are going to have a card like this sitting out there so that you can put your tricks. Huh, okay. So it's for 5 players. Do we have more than 5 of these? Because I would assume that each player needs to have both. Well, not really. We need to have. So there's the 5 for each of the players if they need to have that, and then we've got the spare card as our player aid. So I got that. Okay, I get that. So here we have our roles. It looks like. So the Bertram the Balance side, which is how you're going to learn with without any of the special roles. So this is a symmetrical game. Everybody's character is the same, and then here we've got the different characters: Patchwork, George, Pierre, Margaret, Ned, Yuba, and Gregory. All right, so we've got that. And then we've got a couple of the score sheets here. So there we've got that. Let's take a look at these cards. Actually, this looks interesting. I got to point out that this is a very unique topic to be tackling in a trick-taking card game. That is for sure. Okay, so there are those. So kind of taking a look here. So that would be a Catholic card. So its value is 9. It's the Ravager, or I should say Ravisher. So it has a piety value of 1. It's got a cash value, I guess, of 1. And then I think these are the effects. So if you won this trick, that you would perform that effect. And then we have the effects here. So that is a Ravager. Why do I keep saying Ravager? Ravisher, who is a wild card. And it says kill the highest piety value cards. Okay. Oh, I guess, okay. So yes, that'd be killing the card with the skull. That's what that represents. And then may not be able to see that, but it's got a little bit of it's got a greater than sign for the piety card. Then we have Vicar Philemon, who is clergy, only has a value of 1, but the piety value is 3, and the cash value is 2. And then you convert, it says convert the lowest piety Protestant card to a Catholic card. That's kind of wild. Huh. Looks very interesting. Oh, and then we've got, it looks like we have some, the nobles. Looks like we've got some actual nobles here. So we've got Catherine de Medici. So Piety 4, Cash 3. And then here it's showing that you collect. That's what the box means. And then, of course, we see it's got the little piety sign. It says, collect piety from nobles and clergy. So you get to collect the piety points from the nobles and clergy cards, I would guess, which are part of the trick. I don't know. Kind of cool. We'll point out that even though this is prototype, the card stock is very nice. Though they are rounded cards, be a little more tricky to sleeve them. Let's just kind of take a peek at some of these different cards. Looks like all of the cards do have unique artwork. I'm going to take a guess that this is public domain art, but still kind of cool that we've got unique artwork on each and every card, and each and every card is unique. So, like here, we've got the parish priest. Taking a look here, there's only one. So, it's kind of cool. I like that. Very nice. So we've got our 70 cards, as well as our monarchs. We've got our rolled cards. Let's see, is that to, no, I'm going to say it. That fits. We have our loan cards. We've got the player aid cards as well. We've got our rule book. And that is a peek at Tolerance, which is coming to Gamefound very, very soon. So I will do my best to try to get a few plays in of this. But I was mainly just sharing kind of a sneak peek today as opposed to a review or anything like that. All right, so once again, as I mentioned, this is going to be coming to Gamefound. It is for 3 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, plays around 45 minutes, and it should have a pledge level of around $29, and expected delivery, if this succeeds, is this October. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And of course, if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when I upload original videos, such as this first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thanks for watching, and until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.